When you're doing laundry.
Kyle, and welcome to Actual Play Band of Blades, the Laundry Edition, with plenty of quarters to spread around. I'm Sean. I use he, him pronouns. I haven't gotten a chance to play this game for 2 weeks because I was up at Go Play playing this game, which was amazing. I played with somebody, and he said this was his best game he had ever played that session. And I was like, well, that warms my little black heart. So it was wonderful, but I'm so glad to be coming back and playing with all of you. How about you, Jay?
I'm Jay. I use he, him. I'm recovering from the weekend of freedom, so I'm moving kind of slow, dragging a little bit, but I'm anxious to get back in here. We're coming off of a big win last session, so
Epic win.
Yes, an epic win. So I want some more of that. How about you, Jen?
I'm Jen Martin. I use she, her pronouns. We had an epic win, but also this session is where Rhea and Zayanova get to be reunited in their love, even if they can't go on a mission together. And I'm very excited about it. What about you, John?
I'm John. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm delighted to be here. It's my first time streaming anything, and also the first time in a long time that I've actually gotten to play this game instead of run it. So I'm very excited about that. How about you, Strash?
Hey, I'm Strash. He, him pronouns as well. And I got this in the mail. And So, that big guy, no. I have to tell you, folks. I know we're supposed to save kind of promotions till the end, but holding this book is something else. I laid it out. We wrote like every page of it, and at the end of the day, I sent the files that went to the printer, and it still hit me real hard when I saw it because the realness of it is very, very different than the digital files. So okay, that's all I wanted to say. I love it. It's awesome. I'll show it again, I'm sure, during the session. So.
Yeah, it's 464 pages of amazingness.
Wow.
As John said before the stream, it's too load.
Yeah, it's true, too load. All right. Cool. So last session, Jen, do you want to do the recap?
Oh my God. So last session, we lit the fires of Kavala, and then fucking held them for a week.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was the rookie that helped Zora into the sort of belly of the temple. I want to say it was Coral.
Yeah, it was Coral.
Okay. Yeah. And Coral saw that, pushing one body, if memory serves, into the fire made it go, burn white hot. So Coral was like, cool, all the rest except one. And then it was big fire, much fire, all the fire.
Mucho fire.
Yep. And got Zora into it, and where she cooked, healed, ? All of the above. And then Flavia and
Cobalt Raging Blaze.
Yes, thank you. Went off to drop bombs on the side of the mountain to prevent Render's sort of splinter cell. Because it wasn't really Render's whole force coming over. It was just one guy. Well, I say it was just one guy.
It was 50.
It was 50, including this heartless and
Flayed dude.
Yeah. Yep. The flayed dude. Yeah, the flayed. Yeah.
Oh man. Flayed dude has a name. Hold on. I know what it is. I just need to find it.
It starts with an I think.
Starts with an I.
Do you mean Irag the Flayed?
We do mean Irag the Flayed.
We took out Irag the Flayed last time, John.
Who
I've heard of him.
Murdered.
We super murdered him.
Yeah, we did.
Speaking of which, in this gorgeous 600 or 464 page book, there's a thing that we should talk about called the Sword of Valor.
Yeah, on page
Jen,
438.
when you give me the go-ahead, please continue. I'm sorry to cut you off, but when you give me the go-ahead, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got rid of Irag the Flayed, and none of us died in the doing of that. Kind of surprisingly, I was surprised.
Desperate skirmish.
Yeah, seriously. And sort of in tandem while we were doing that, I should say after that, I know Flavia ended up remembering or checking out some wards or something, and she ended up being able to activate the wards with Weave, which was the whole thing. And I feel like I'm missing a whole other side of this.
Awesome hammer climb.
Collapsed a wall. Yeah, on the Heartless
mission into dressed as Black Oak Knights into the enemy camp. But yeah,
that's right. I was like, there's a whole second part of this that because we couldn't leave well enough alone. We weren't like, oh, we're just gonna wait for them to come back. It was like, no, we're gonna go to their camp and sow discord in between the Black Oak Knights and the undead. And we sabotaged a siege engine. Well, we didn't we prevented them from having the necessary parts to be able to assemble it later.
Yeah, and we also set all their horses free, and we also killed a bunch of Black Oak Knights in their sleep.
Like you do.
Yeah, we super sabotaged it. And Moltali dropped a wall on
it's true.
On Voyevich, and the Heartless.
Yep.
And then fought him.
Just a wall.
Then he retreated, and when he came back, Moltali fought him inside the keep and slayed him. So we took out a lieutenant and an infamous.
That's right.
It was a twofer.
Oh my God, we didn't. That wasn't like a huge win. That was like 3 huge wins.
Yeah.
That we did there.
And I just want to point out that Cobalt Raging Blaze is 100% convinced that Flavia is Zora's chosen, because not only did Flavia plant the bombs and blow up the mountainside and somehow survive it, but also Flavia was the one who, in Raging Blaze's perspective, struck the killing blow against Irag the Flayed, or at least was the one that ran up and exposed herself, and then was the one who to do this.
I went into the
bananas
flames,
weaving thing and lit up the wards around the temple. Just saying. I'm thinking chosen lowercase c right now. Capital C should Zora fall. That's my my stance on things.
I would so love it if Flavia the Butcher became a chosen. I can't even say. Strash, you were going to say something about the book?
Yeah, there's actually a couple of things to talk about. The first one is actually, I'm sorry, John. Have you just been marshal for 5 minutes? Because I'm about to throw a scene at you. There's a thing in the book. It's an optional rule, but I feel like we're going to use it here. Okay, so there is a rule. It's in chapter 11, which is like the hacking chapter and extends some rules, called medals, and it talks about different medals that legionnaires can win for actions. And there's one in particular. I've been keeping an eye on these, but we haven't seen a lot of these during the game. So I think there's one in particular that's super important right now. So I'm going to have John frame a medal ceremony. So I'm just going to put this in your head so you can think for the 30 seconds it's going to take me to this. It says, the Sword of Valor. You are eligible for the Sword of Valor when you bring down an infamous or lieutenant. If multiple troops are involved in the action, the marshal chooses the one they feel most influenced the course of the fight. The medal is only awarded to rookies and soldiers. So unfortunately, specialists are not eligible. This is for line troops only. Those who wear the Sword of Valor proudly may always choose what squad they belong to, even over the marshal's objections.
What? Tricky.
So, Matali, I believe there has been both an infamous and a lieutenant killed, and I believe that I don't want to influence you unduly in your report to the marshal, but I feel like one soldier in particular distinguished herself, striking the killing blow against Irag the Flayed, and also lighting that Heartless on fire using the wards. But you tell me what kind of light you paint your troops in when they return back with Zora bright and bushy-tailed in tow.
Grey Wafting Smoke was actually the leader of that last mission, not Maltali. But Grey Wafting Smoke was played by Misha. But
well, we can all vote.
Character, I was gonna say, didn't the character Misha played, like, weren't they instrumental in shooting Irag too?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. They did shoot Irag, but anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Jay. No, I want you to do it. I just
what does the official action report say? Like, who shot / stabbed / what?
Yeah, I think this one's on you.
Who files that?
Yeah.
It would be Grey Wafting Smoke, but since Misha's not present, we can all do it as a group, or we can say, hey, the other person that played a hell of a lot of Grey Wafting Smoke is Jay. Maybe Jay gets the vote. Yeah. Whatever you folks want to do. I just thought that it'd be cool to have a medal ceremony because it's a very military thing. It's not something we see in the game very often.
Well, we also have 3 people promoting from rookie to soldier. So this medal ceremony is not just the Sword of Valor. It's also Lenka Dalinova, Coral Rifting Dreef from the Shattered Lions, and I think somebody from the Stags. I can't remember who. No.
Everybody's getting promotions.
Yeah, we had who went on the secondary mission? I can't remember now.
That I don't recall.
Because they critted in one of them. I'm gonna have to look. Why can't I find? Anyway, we have 3 people being promoted, so
yeah,
seems like a big deal.
So are we doing a scene of that then? I mean, the procession in my mind is you have to do it publicly, right? You can't just give someone a medal and then be quiet about that. Like that has to be done in front of the troops. You shouldn't.
Right, you shouldn't. Right, you shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't.
You can, but you shouldn't.
Well, we have a big thing about not doing things in private. We have a big thing about everybody eating meals together.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
But
I like the scene of this medal and promotion ceremony with the backdrop of like one of the temple's walls just being completely demolished. That we did. We did that.
So good. That's
nice.
So good.
Very cool. Yeah, and I think that like there might have been a discussion about which person to have get this particular medal, because I don't think actually we've seen any medals being issued since the beginning of the game.
No, we haven't.
So something of a special moment. So what is the general feeling of the command staff then about who should get this honor?
I don't think Strasha's original question has been answered yet, which is how is the mission report presented?
Yeah.
And I think that can be up to all of us, collectively.
Yeah.
I can tell you that specialist scout Cobalt Raging Blaze, Daredevil, and who travels like the wind and who's always first when it comes to a question of who goes first, is first to say that Flavia faced Irag the Flayed in face-to-face combat and cut off his arm that could have easily cleaved her in half.
Her butcher skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she is not only bravest among us all, but she also is the one that's been touched by the gods because Zora taught her how to ignite the flames of Kavala. So if anyone's going to deserve a medal,
I feel like Flavia would be deeply uncomfortable with all of this, but she's probably like unconscious in a tent while this conversation is happening.
That's possible. It's none other than the thunder goddess, the
Oh my
first one
God.
to find the hammer of Matiar and
Right.
wield it.
Yeah.
That is right.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Marchioness Flavia Tirana.
Yes.
My piece right there.
Nice.
Sounds like
Yep.
someone's volunteered to present medals.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I think that yeah, I think that's where you have to put it, right?
You had me a Thunder Goddess.
Yeah, oh yes. Jay's like, that was me.
Cool. So then I guess the ceremony, I mean, are you hurt, Finn? Are you like are you mostly okay?
Are you asking about Flavia?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Flavia, yeah. I don't think she's got a one harm marked by Zora.
Yeah.
But I think she's just exhausted. So there might be she might have to like.
Can I
use
do a cool
cane
thing?
Yeah, do it.
I think there's probably a moment where we kind of see like Flavia immolated in fire, kind of like screaming, and then her eyes snap open and she realizes that she's in her tent. And you know, like this, if we're shooting this as a TV show, you know, she like brings up her hand and we see that glow through her veins, and then it just fades out, and she just hears a voice creepily in the tent say, "I'm sorry about that. It won't wear out for a bit." You realize that Zora is sitting there watching you sleep.
Oh my.
Not
like
awkward.
not like with a chair or anything. She's got her back against the tent wall, and actually she seems to be sitting in the same position that she was when she had the holes in her and she was bleeding everywhere, but she's fine now. And she stands up and all she says is, "It's time for the ceremony."
Well, I think if she wasn't awake before, she's fucking awake now.
Yes.
Yes. So she like, yep. No words. Nope. She just goes.
Awesome.
John,
what does this look like? Do you make like a podium or like what the hell?
Yeah, I think it's actually because there's so much going on. It's probably done like in the center of camp. There's like some sort of, I don't know, like what do they call that when you have like a raised, yeah, like
a dais,
yeah, something like that,
or a podium
constructed out of wood, you know, something makeshift that you can like disassemble. And there's the marshals, you know, speaking to the troops and saying, you know, over the last mission, you know, we had many challenges before us, and what looked like it would be a dark hour of our tale continuing into you know, even darker times was brought into the light by these fine soldiers that stand before you, and then probably go through each one and say, you know, for a distinguished service in the course of your last mission, you know, I promote you to Soldier of the Legion, privileged to all the privileges that rank bestows, but also beholden to all the duties that come with that position. And then pinning is it pin? I guess for a soldier, maybe it is a pin. Pinning something onto each one of them, and then finally stopping at Flavia.
Can I make a small suggestion?
Go for it.
If you are upgrading in rank, you may go from a cloth patch to one that's actually like a soldier's patch, can be 3D and like carved out of metal, but it still goes into the same position.
Awesome.
It's just an indication of upgrade in the same squad, but it's still the same logo.
I like it. Yeah. So fixing the upgraded version of those.
The plate.
Stripes. Yeah.
Because I can't remember. I'm looking feverishly through our squads. The only two squads that could have been on the last secondary mission were the Ghost Owls or the Ember Wolves. And I think we sent the Wolves in for the Werewolf mission. So
right. Yes, obviously.
So I think it's Marinin Petrovich that was promoted. None of the Ember Wolves have been made. They're all rookies right now, except for John. Did you say you made one? Baronet Titus?
I'm. It's a rookie.
Yeah. Well, if you want, he could have been the one of them gets upgraded to soldier, and we should pick that so we can don't forget about it. So, do you want it to be the character you were excited about playing?
I want to play Rookie.
Okay. All right. Then let's do Marin Petrovich, who's the leader. Okay.
Excellent. Yeah. So, and then just walking down the line until I guess we get to Flavia, and yeah, like holding up a pin, the sword of valor in his hands. The marshal, or in her hands actually. The marshal will talk about the importance of distinguishing oneself in the field, and how the Legion always recognizes those who put themselves in harm's way for others, and accomplishes great deeds thereby, and will affix the Sword of Valor to Flavia's uniform. Wear it with pride, and represent the Legion in the best. Yeah.
Can I add a detail in the background?
Yeah, please.
So the banner person, for the person who held the flag for the Grinning Ravens, which was what Flavia is part of, was Cobalt Raging Blaze, and Cobalt did not make it. He died. So Cobalt, sorry, I'm getting my names mixed up. Crimson Rising Tide was the one who held it, and he did not make it. So Cobalt Raging Blaze, the scout, is holding it holding or standing by it. Maybe she's not holding it because she's not one of that squad, but she's standing by, and that flag is ablazing with the flaming raven Zora that Zora lit on fire last time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to add a little bit of flavor to that. Flavia is she's an Orite, so this sort of ceremony is not her first rodeo on ceremonies, right? So she handles herself how is expected of her and stuff, and she's very proud of herself and her soldiers and stuff. But yeah, she sees that banner, and you see her kind of look down at her hand and see that glow in the veins, and she's a little unsettled by it.
Nice.
Very cool.
I imagine that there's applause from the.
Oh yeah, I would like
right?
to ask Sean, since we've established that your scout gets asked first, are you the first to applaud? Because if not, then it's Zora.
Oh yeah. I think this is the moment where Cobalt Raging Blaze was trying to hold onto the banner, and she literally shoves it into the hands of Grey Wafting Smoke, and it's yeah, Zora's chosen. Yes, there are as in which Cobalt Raging Blaze is sort of taking Crimson Rising Tide's place, even though he was yet a rookie and she's a specialist. As Panyar and as close to one another, she's definitely rooting. So yeah, she is definitely cheering. First thing.
Very cool. Is that a sufficient scene?
Yeah. Did we do so you would know this, Lord Keeper? Did we do a back in camp scene last time?
We did not do back at camp. I mean, we did at the beginning, but not since then. I think it's time.
Let's do it.
So this is our last available high morale scene on the list. So choosing is easy for me this time.
Nice.
A squad talks about home and asks their captain about theirs. So I'm gonna look at our squads here and see who we have. Who do we want to see more of?
Well, we've seen a hell of a lot of Ravens. So if you want to see how the Ravens are handling coming back from that mission, that could still be fun. Mm-hmm. But if you want to see something different, I don't know that anybody else has gotten massive screen time.
Yeah, the Lions have been referenced a lot, but they didn't We had a few of them on the mission last time. And the Silver Stags definitely have not Silver Stags, sorry, the Star Vipers definitely have a like chip on their shoulder.
They're all right, leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been largely mollified, but they definitely have felt overlooked. I know one of the Ghost Owls is really envious of Flavia's grenades. And yeah, and we know that the Ember Wolves were super successful in the last mission. If any of those.
Okay. The Ember Wolves. All right. I think okay, I'm gonna pick Ghost Owls just because I love the name Fuchsia Shouting Riot.
It's the winning name.
It's the best name. Okay, so squad talks about home and asks the captain about theirs.
Now the Ghost Owls, remember, everybody in the Ghost Owls died, including Indigo, except for Lucretia, who was then super mad at Crimson, and then Crimson got killed.
Yes.
So Lucretia is the only original member of the Ghost Owls from all of the others. That's seems cool.
Yeah.
Is Lucretia the captain of the Ghost Owls?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That she is the de facto leader of the Ghost Owls because there was a point where she was the only member.
Yeah.
So she basically became corporal by living.
Sometimes all you need to do is survive.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is after the ceremony, right? Nobody from the Ghost Owls was promoted, correct?
Correct.
It's 4 rookies. She's also a rookie. But a sort of captain rookie. So I think this is after the medal ceremony, and I think we're all eating together, right? Because that's our thing. Nobody eats alone. Let me see.
I think every one of her scenes has been at the eating hall too.
I think
so. Like 2 scenes with her in them, and they've both been over meals.
I mean, we could do something else if you want to see her.
No,
like
I love it.
Or something. Okay.
I think it's great. I'm super
Cool.
a fan.
Yeah. I didn't specifically make that sort of belief that we hold, or like rule that we hold specifically because I wanted to see a lot of eating scenes, but it's worked out well. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Lucretia. Who wants to? I want Jay to play Lucretia. I don't think we've seen you play her, if that's okay.
No, it's fine. That's fine.
I want to play Fuchsia Shouting Riot because I have that control. Sean, do you want to play Sergey or?
Sure, I'll play Sergey.
Okay, you play Sergey. And John, do you want to play Gordiano?
Yeah.
Io?
I have about Sergey. I have that he's jealous of Flavia having grenades, and that he's horsefolk.
That he's horsefolk?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
So this is a little bit surprising to me because in the character sheet it says Sergey is Panyar, which is not. I would take that as a. Sergey definitely has a Zemyari.
Yeah.
There's actually a fun fact. I don't know if you care. It's the fact that being Panyar is not a question of genetics.
Right.
Well, actually, none of these cultures are a question of genetics. They're all a question of culture. But if you live for 13 years in Panya, you can get animal traits, and that's generally when like the big nasties of the forest stop hunting you, and most of the Panya recognize you as being like a local.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, so Sergey is
possible, although if you had a color, there's no color for people from the outside, right? Like your mother tends to give you your color when you're born. If you're an orphan, you get silver, but if you're an outsider, you have no color, so you're white.
All right, so rookie Sergey Griogovich, white.
Yeah, no, well, it's like white something, and then if you did a deed, would be your Pioneer name.
Right. So do they get new names?
They can. Remember that the way that you get your second name in Panya is if you can get 3 adults to agree on what it is.
Yeah. I don't think that's happened for Sergey yet.
No.
I think it's white Sergey Grigovich right now.
That's the best Panya name.
Yeah, because yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I want you to know I'm laughing my butt off right now. This is so good.
So good.
So that's your deed? Close enough. Oh my
god. Yeah. So what are we eating today, peoples?
Who's on cooking duty? Which squad is
it's true.
assisting?
Yeah. I think we're eating something that they brought back from the Ember Wolves brought back. I think Sunrender was the reward for that thing, but it was also like deep in the wild forests, and I feel like they found some wild growing fruits and veggies out there that are not part of our common staple. It's not enough to be called supplies by any stretch,
yeah.
But I think
it's like one good meal.
Yeah, it's like one good meal,
or at least an awesome dish that everyone's excited about.
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
There's like a particular orite amongst your laborers who gets the day off, and they make a famous fruit tort. So you actually get dessert this time. So like people like sweet.
It doesn't have turnips in it.
It doesn't have turnips in it. Yeah.
I mean, there is of course the appetizer, which is a salad plus turnips, and there is the standard meal, which is a hearty stew. Probably has turnips in it, but there is dessert sans turnips. So
sometimes there's turnip burgers.
I think they're radishes actually. Radishes have been our staple. So radish salad is
I think it's
common, but
yeah. Your Zemyati quartermaster is more than happy to supply you with radishes. It looks like a whole nother crop. It's just about to be ready too.
Yay!
Cool. Jen, do you want to open the scene, or do you want one of us?
Yeah. Somebody else do it. My brain is being weird today.
Cool. For clarity, we're asking Cadet Lucretia Bolivio about her. We're talking about our homes, and we're talking about
our homes, and we're asking her about hers. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just got your name, and you didn't have to like do anything before. I've been working for years. I worked for years to get a name, and it's still white Sergey Grigovich.
Do you have any idea?
Do you see these horse ears?
Do you see 3 Panyard to agree on anything?
I got the ears.
My name was a freaking deed. Okay.
Tattoos. I'm marked. I am a marked Panyar. Corruption. Stay away. It's like touching me, and yet I still can't get a name. Oh, so easy. So easy you had it.
I think I steal part of your dessert.
What great deed did you do? What great deed did you do to get a name?
I think I get real close in your face, and I go, I shout really loud.
I think like whatever I'm holding gets like splashed.
Hey, don't waste that. that is precious dessert. You do not get this every day.
Right, that's fair.
Scoop it up. It's fine. I'll eat it off my boot. I don't care. 5-second rule. Or in this case, 30-minute rule. If it doesn't move on its own rule.
Nice.
Do you have tort, Lucretia? Do you have this this dish?
I think so, but I think she's just kind of messing around, pushing it around in the dish. Not really into it. Her brain's someplace else.
Yeah.
There's this Crimson Rising Tide was Panyar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's
that conversation about names, and she's just pushing her tort around in the dish. And then she looks up and she says, "How did Crimson Rising Tide get his name?"
I mean, he served with you, right? No, he served with those ravens.
Yeah, with the Ravens.
I mean, he had his name before he came to the Legion, right?
But
You can deconstruct it, right? So Crimson is given by a parent. Rising is something that you could get at least 3 adults to agree on, usually around the age of like 13, 12 to 14 when you get your mark.
Mm-hmm.
And we all as a group get to decide what you gain the deed name Tide for. I usually, but not always, it can be a reference to something that's related. So maybe there is a deed where you have to like travel on water for an extended period of time, or maybe hunt a very giant fish, like
Right.
killed
Yeah.
a shark with a spear or something.
I just know he was really young and apparently really brave. Like brave slash
Killing
stupid.
sharks with spears is very brave and stupid, just saying.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it can be anything. It could be like climb a high mountain. It can be like the Panyar recognize, like essentially what they really want from people is to focus their minds and do something that isn't trivial to accomplish, right? Like that requires training and or planning. And some people just get lucky and some people are just super buff and they do it. But like to get the deed name Wind, you have to travel away from the forests of Panya on foot for a year and a day. And so that's an example of a deed. There is another deed name that's gotten for a sword form, I think, but I don't remember what it is offhand. So carry on. You can invent whatever you like.
I think
What
what's
do you
this?
get for the deed name Grigorovich?
That's my point. What's the name of the river that is that river that we crossed at the very beginning of the campaign? The
The
What's
Tigria, yeah.
Tigria. I think, and Panya, if I remember correctly, is in the. Thank you, Jen, for that. Oh no, Panya is over on the east. Panya is not near that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
There is an archipelago that kind of drifts down from it.
Yeah, I think Rising Tide like had to like literally swim upstream, and like a very long distance. He just had like incredible endurance, and it was like a 7-day trek to get to the top to the font of the stream,
Right.
to fish from the spring that he had to go to. So the fishing wasn't dangerous. It was the swimming upstream for 7 days, and
Right.
he was never allowed to touch land. He had to swim all the way there, and he could hold on, and he could hold on to a rock. He could sleep in a little nook, but he had to stay in the water the entire
Stay in
time.
the water. Gotcha.
Never got to touch land until he returned with a still live fish he had to carry with him. That's my.
No, that's good. That's good.
Crimson Rising Salmon.
No, that's good. She says, as she's still pushing that torte around, maybe she takes a big bite, right? And you can see her eyes kind of well up a little bit. And she says, "That's dumb. That's stupid. He's so stupid," right? And then she's just filling her mouth with the torte. You gonna be okay?
Oh no, it's just my heart. Carry on. It's wonderful. I love these scenes. You folks are really touching me. It's great. Keep going.
I mean, yeah, he was stupid. That was his thing. Like he was stupid. He never backed down,
It's
and it
true.
eventually got him killed. But I heard he died really pretty gloriously. I mean, he was always just trying to do the right thing. Remember when he saved all of those people by like getting us all getting everyone to go rescue a ton of people from.
I mean, Indigo
lockdown.
didn't come back from that mission.
Yeah, but how many? Oh, Sean knew this, but me. But White Grigorovich didn't. Oh, right. Indigo was an owl, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she just she's in her torte now.
She's in her torte now.
The bowl's probably empty, but she's
Picking out the like last.
Scraping last bits. Oh man, inner cups, but inner tort.
So stupid.
Do you want to end it there, Jay?
I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we really got the chance to ask about Lucretia's home life, but I think we still learned a lot about her.
This was great.
And I think my thought was she was always going to deflect to find out more about Crimson.
Yeah,
life, right?
I love it. That's so good. I added a note that she's in her tort.
That is my new right in the tort.
Right in the tort.
D mentioned in chat. I love it. All right. Cool. So that's our back at camp scene. Good job, everybody. I have a question. Does anybody have any free play scenes they want to do?
We're still in Gallows Pass, right?
You are.
Then nope.
Nope. Nope.
I mean, just for me.
I mean, same.
Cool. There is a moment where I'm gonna do just the briefest of briefs. We've done this before. It's where Zora collects a whole shit ton of weapons and puts them in the ground, and then stands in front of them like she's, or behind them, I guess, where she's waiting for a challenger.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with Miltali?
Yeah, but Miltali was just like, "F this, I'm not doing this," and then he stopped coming, which is fine.
So who's gonna challenge her?
I actually don't know that Flavia would challenge Zora. Yes, Flavia will challenge Zora. Let's just do this.
She when Flavia steps up, Zora grins as if like she posed a riddle and somebody got the right answer.
Yeah.
But she doesn't say anything like specific. She just picks up a weapon, and you're familiar with this drill. You're just not as big or as buff as Mitali necessarily.
Right.
Because she pushes you hard. Do you want to roll some dice and see how it goes?
I would love to. That would be great.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you've got some skirmish, right? At least
roll some skirmish as a fortune pool. Let's see how it goes.
Over too.
All right. So what am I rolling? Sorry.
Just skirmish, and if you roll it like risky standard is fine. We know it's just a fortune roll with that many dice.
Yes.
Well, okay then.
Better than Mitali did, I think.
Yes.
I think there's what's Flavia's weapon of choice? Other than grenades.
Yeah. No. It's.
Didn't she have like a big old axe or like a big old giant meat cleaver?
I think she's got a big old meat cleaver.
It's like a sword-sized meat cleaver, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like a ridiculous combination between a sword and a cleaver.
It's like a Buster sword, only slightly.
So I'm gonna start narrating a thing, and you tell me how you react, and then we'll play the ending off of that. Is that cool?
Yeah, great.
I think Zora she starts fighting shitty. Not like failing, but like striking at your feet, tripping you up, using tactics that are way beneath any sort of like honorable warrior, right? Yeah. And anytime you do trip and fall down, she kind of turns around and gives you kind of like a cold shoulder and says, "Stand up, faster." And like anytime you like miss a parry or something, she's just like, "Faster," and she like keeps pushing you. What do you do? What are you feeling? What's in your heart?
I think the first time she does it, it's a mix of like annoyance, but like at her, but also at myself. But the more she does it, the more I'm just like, cool, I'm not playing a fucking game anymore. I'm going to fight as hard as I can. And you can, say faster, harder, blah, 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 whatever. And she just gets like tunnel vision. She's probably not even hearing Zora anymore.
Awesome. So there is probably a moment where Zora goes into a flawless parry block with like a spear, and that cleaver just goes right through her spear and like does one of those like stops like an inch from her head. And She looks at it and then looks at your arm, and you realize that your veins are glowing. And then looks at you, and she gives you the exact same smile she did when you picked up a weapon. And she goes, "Good." And then that's it.
And then Flavia's teeth crack from grinding them.
She just says, "Tomorrow," and then just walks off as if like this is the plan all along.
And I think Flavia, are we on stone or is it like dirt ground?
It's gravelly mountainside.
Okay. So Flavia just like chucks that meat cleaver into the ground.
I think there's like a chunk and there's just like a dent in the stone where this thing hits.
Yes.
Zora looks over her shoulder at it briefly and seems satisfied. So
I'm so glad she's satisfied.
Dang.
you find weights randomly left in your tent. Zora's real happy with you. You know, random stuff is gonna happen. Like you'll wake up dangling 50 feet off a cliffside on a rope.
Yep.
You just hear climb faster. Anyway, cool.
Great. It's perfect.
All right.
I love it.
That's it for me. Are we gonna do a quick rotation of campaign actions and then we'll throw up the missions?
That sounds great. Yeah.
Right.
Marshall, what's our morale?
Yeah, I have to look at that. I believe it was 10.
I think it's 10, but
Yeah, I'll double check that.
There's a Marshall sheet somewhere on that list.
I found it, and I am looking. Is it under a character sheet? I have the Marshall sheet. I just don't know which tab.
it should be under bio.
Oh, under bio.
Because there's not really character sheets yet.
Yeah, I don't see it.
All right. I'm fairly certain it was 10 because I think at the end of the previous session, we were down to 8. We had 2 things. I did a Liberty then, got it up to 10, and we didn't lose any morale last session. We didn't lose it. No one died, and we didn't have any morale penalties. We had time and pressure.
Holy cow, do I like that picture for an All Right Marshall.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
It is super
Yeah,
choice.
right?
That's really well picked. I heard it. It's got that crispness, that All Right like sense of poise, and I love the detail on the coat and the jewelry. It's just it's so good.
Yeah.
And the hair. Yeah, everything about that picture screams awesome All Right person.
Yeah. Love it. Here, hold on. Everyone in chat's like, what are you talking about? Let me pull this up. There we go. There is Katarina. Marshall Katarina. Okay, so assuming we're at 10, Marshall, I am not going to do a Liberty action. The troops are just fine. We had incredible success last time.
Of course.
So, Josh, can you tell me what the asset rating of Gallows Pass is?
I'd be shocked if it isn't 0.
I'd be shocked if it isn't 0 either, but I'm just asking.
There's nothing up here in the mountains. It is.
Oh, darn.
By the way, for those of you that haven't seen it, some sweet art. That good art. All right. Gallows Pass assets rating 0, yes.
Yeah, all right. So we're not doing any of that business. So the first thing I want to do, because I can do this in any order I want, right? I'm going to find out how well our alchemists work on the fuel conversion project.
Should be pretty good.
So
let's see. How many alchemists do you have?
I have 2.
So 2d6. Let's see it.
Yeah. So let's roll myself a fortune roll. Oh no, quartermaster doesn't have a thing on sheet. I'll just roll 2d6. It's fine. All right, progress says 4. Okay.
2. So 2 ticks.
2 ticks on the fuel conversion. That means it's 1 away from being complete. Arg. I can't do multiple actions on that. I can't like buy more alchemist actions. They just go.
Nope, it's 1 and 1.
Okay.
However, now you get to roll for corruption.
Yes, I do. Let me choose. Let me advance this clock though. Choose. Okay. So now we're gonna roll the same pool for corruption.
Correct.
That's bad.
That's real bad. So you get 2 corruption to spread amongst your alchemists as you please.
You
Yeah.
please.
As I please. How about not at all?
Sadly, it's got to go somewhere.
I
Well,
get-
at least it's not a terrible project. Otherwise, it would have been 3 corruption.
Yeah. All right. So we're I think everybody's involved in it. So we're splitting this evenly between, where are you? Where are you, my peoples? We're splitting this evil between Mine Alchemist Ruben Garossi and Landgrave Aurora Rodano. So they each will gain 1. They're fine. Everybody's fine. And then I'm going to ask. Long-term projects are based off of. An action you pick, right?
Correct. It is the skill of a specialist. You have to choose a specialist to front the project, and then they roll.
Yeah. So I'm gaming this a little bit.
What kind of thing are you?
I
kind of
want
project?
to work on getting our Linesburg laborers to be to turn into laborers. I want more laborers for my labor track.
You also may want to start on some siege weapon clocks. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's true. We do need some siege weapons. That's a good point. What's a siege weapon clock? Is it 6?
Unless you can convince me that you have some funky parts. Yeah, it's 6.
We already
mean-
have some parts that we literally stole from a camp last time.
Oh, right. You didn't take it all the way back, but their camp would have been destroyed. They would have run away. You could have just taken it. Yeah, it's a 4 clock.
All right. Okay.
That's a really good flashback there, Jen. Plus
Yeah.
1. As Refugee Audacity would say, that's good role playing.
Yeah. All right, Josh. Will you give me a 4-tick clock?
Yeah, I'm making it happen right now.
And
I always forget which tab these clocks are on. 1 second.
I know. As you can see, I just have clocks all around.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, we did steal their siege weapons, so makes total sense. I think that's in I think critical parts are in Flavia's pocket. And we can't see the name on it because
I'm working on it. I haven't even typed it in yet.
you have to do that thing. Yeah.
There we go.
In the meantime, I will have the steam engines project be completed.
Excellent.
So we'll
So you have
spend.
it. It's done.
Yep, I have 3 laborers worth, so that project will be complete. And then I have 1 laborer left because that was only 2 ticks. So we're gonna put 1 on the siege engines. Thank you. Awesome. I'm not feeling the need to do it immediately. I feel like we can advance that. So, are there people out here, Josh?
Very, very few. Mostly goat herds, people on a few pilgrimages. Very, very, very seldom you'll find somebody who's just hates civilization and wants to hide up there. You do see some refugees, coming through, trickling from different places that have either they're just moving slower than you. It's really there's not a lot of supplies.
Yeah. Wow, I'm amazed. I have a bounty. Like I could recruit rookies right now, but it doesn't seem like a good place to do it.
Mm-mm.
Marshall, do you want me to allow people to do some rest and rehabilitation?
We have a few people, particularly from the last mission, that were a little stressed out. And there's 1 person who's injured.
We have at least 2 people injured.
Yeah.
Voyas and Flavia.
Flavia,
Yeah.
I guess either is okay. I was planning on putting Voyas on one of these missions because for mechanical reasons. But yeah, they only have 1.
I have this sense
actually,
spare actions. It seems so wrong. It seems so.
That's what happens when you crit on secondary.
I was gonna say, like, you got
position,
spare
yeah.
actions, or morale's at 10. Like,
I know. Like the idea of doing Liberty right now seems silly when our morale's at 10.
If you do a rest and recovery, both injured people will be recovered, which may be useful.
Yeah, but injury doesn't affect religious missions. Are you sending Voyus on the primary or the secondary mission?
Secondary. Yes, for the mechanical purpose, the secondary mission, because Voice has level 2 harm, and that doesn't really interfere with the mission, then if they take level 2 harm again, then when they take one more healing tick, they clear both of those.
Yeah, forget it. I'm not doing it. I'm just working on. I can't acquire assets.
More projects.
I'm working on more projects. More clocks for me. All right.
This feels like one of those phone games where you just make numbers go up. You just get clocks, you tap them a lot, and then they fill, and you're like, yeah! It's the best.
All right. So I'm sending specialists to do work. I'm going to spend specialist Ria Manabar, our Barton medic, to go put some discipline in the minds of those Linesburg laborers. And remind them that they got to they got to contribute to the camp. So
Bear in mind, if you already have 3 laborers, I'm not 100% sure what filling clock will do, but
if I already have 3 laborers,
yeah, you're maxing laborers at the moment.
No, I have 2 laborers and a hammer.
Never mind. Yes, then this is a great plan. You should do it.
Because then I have effectively 4 laborers.
oh my god, I have 2 laborers and a hammer of Matiar.
Right. I had a hammer.
Actually, I have a question. What are you doing with Sunrender?
That I was just gonna ask that very same question.
Oh gosh, Sunrender. Okay, so like the quartermaster doesn't have personal quarters anymore. He just sleeps out in front, and he just has one tent with a hammer of Matiar in it, and another tent with Sunrender, and like at least one squad each guarding each of these tents. Yeah, so I think Sunrender.
You think a squad is gonna stop Zora from taking one of those things?
Yeah, and he sleeps in between the 2 of them. He doesn't want the 2 of them next to each other, and he doesn't want the 2 of them. So yeah, I think Sunrender is not. Yeah, it's locked up in his only chest. The hammer of Matiar is in use. It's pounding away at that steam engine. But Sunrender is locked up in the biggest chest that he has.
Cool.
To keep it away from Zora.
Awesome.
What does Sunrender do again? What is its thing?
It's a golden spear. No one's touched it yet, apparently.
Yeah, it pierces armor? Question mark? We don't know.
Has anyone tried?
No one's tried.
I'm kind of curious what would happen if Flavia picked it up, but I guess we'll have to see you play, huh?
Oh, yeah.
As much as I like your idea of getting more laborers, perhaps testing the spear.
No, you should totally get more laborers. I was just mildly curious because somebody mentioned like, oh yeah, the hammer of Matiar are used every day, and it's like, but what about Sunrender? Who holds a Sunrender?
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna find out what Sunrender does.
Okay.
we're gonna find out the fun way.
Okay.
It runs suns clearly.
We're gonna throw that thing into the sun.
Live weapons test.
Yeah. Next, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna give it to Flavia next time she's sparring with Zora. All right. Yes. So Flavia, not Flavia. Sorry, Ria. Would you discipline those laborers and get them? I
was gonna say, if memory serves, Ria is not particularly good at discipline.
Oh no!
Oh, she's great at discipline.
She's
Never
great
mind.
at discipline. That's what do you think?
I'm great at boats.
Ria, it's almost like Ria's been played a bunch because she has a crap ton of dots.
Yeah, it's the reason why I.
It's almost like the medic can go on any mission. Am I just rolling risky standard and we'll
Yeah, we'll just take it as a fortune roll. It's good. Hey, it's
Nice.
3 ticks on that clock. Ria is a boss.
Ria is a super boss. You want to tell me how you?
So this is actually a really easy question to answer. Ria is not doing great mentally, right? Like we've had these big wins and stuff, but like her heart is elsewhere. And so I think that she, not in like a mean, abusive way, but she just channels all of her worry for Zayanova into teaching these people to be better laborers.
Nice.
Right?
I'm about it. So, Shrush, I can work on two long-term projects as long as they're different ones, right?
Correct.
And
But you have spent both of your actions, right?
I don't think so.
Wait, what? No? Awesome.
I rolled
What?
my alchemist.
That's
I rolled
true.
my
That's true.
alchemist,
Carry on.
and I advanced I used the laborers that I had. Yeah.
How did this even happen? All right, yeah. hit
I
it.
know, right? Exactly. So Rhea, guess what? After you're done with that, the quartermaster says, "Now I need you to go work on that siege engine with the. I need you to go look up the schematics to for that siege engine. I would like you to research how to build siege engines. So
Okay.
just when you thought you were free, I'm sending you to do more work.
Yep. I think
Because this is what you get when you're skilled.
in a tiny micro free play scene, we see Rhea literally sticking her tongue out at the quartermaster.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
Quartermaster says it's cold up here. Don't do that. It'll freeze.
Okay, well, here's my bad roll. It's
It's okay. It's okay.
That's one tick on the siege engines.
You were so busy with those laborers. You're just like, you did your best.
Yeah. Great. So the quartermaster is delighted to have all these clocks moving forward, and we have food. We can't acquire assets. So, yep. I am calling that good.
Judd had the best quote. That's why I don't get good at anything. Once the QM finds out, the rest we had.
Exactly.
It's
As soon as
true.
you're good at things, the QM just like, great.
Somewhere, somehow, Zora leans in and just whispers, "Beware the farmer."
He is
What
relentless.
do you want to do?
Yeah. This is our quartermaster.
Oh, chat is so good. All right, cool. So that's the end of that. We're gonna have missions, which if somebody wants to type exclamation point mission in chat, you can see them. Yeah, I think we're gearing up for the mission phase. We're gonna have to turn it over to Jay. Oh, actually, the first question we have to ask is, do we advance?
Yes, we shall advance.
And now we get the bad rule for Gello's Pass. You ready? The special rule is, there is not a lot of good paths through here, and finding the way forward is just difficult. A lot of the bridges are not in excellent condition, and you have to. Sorry, I've got a little cat fur floating here. I've got a tiny cat right next to me, but it's going to take +1 time no matter what you roll. When advancing at +1 time, there's no clear route. Bridges that would allow for easy access have not been upkept. So your builders and laborers are probably also busy consuming some of your supplies, trying to get some of these like hanging bridges all set up, reinforcing certain bridges so that wagons and radishes and other things can pass over them, and so on. So, Jay, what's our pressure?
It looks like 1.
Well, Zora is the star of the dawn, so that goes to 0. So if you want to roll 2 dice, take the worst, or roll 0 effect, we'll adjust it by that. I'm going to reset your pressure because we're advancing.
All right. 2 dice.
Yeah. Ow.
Nice.
That's
Taking the 1.
Yep, that's a good. Yep. I'm glad we rolled 0 dice on that.
Yep.
That is the reason to roll dice. However, this means that the second clock is now complete.
Yeah.
So I am going to.
I also, when time advances, there's
Gain
also
food.
I have to mark down food. Well,
Yep, you get a full thingy of food.
yes, the radishes have come to roost, as it were.
So this is your last clock, and I would like to point out that you have 9 time remaining, nine time segments.
And we have to get 2 Skydagger Keep before that runs out. Is that correct? Or we have
That
to do
is-
more than that?
No, you have to get 2 Skydagger Keep.
Right.
Uh, so you've got some time. You've got 1, 2, 3 advances. Oh, actually, I don't have the tokens for the one on the high road there, but I'll get there before next time. So you have to advance to Kalisko, you have to advance them on the high road, and then the Skydagger Keep one. So as long as you keep that time low, you should be okay. But guess what? I believe one of these missions has a time penalty. Ooh.
Oh no!
Beware the time penalties. All right, cool. So Talgon Forest. Let me read from this gorgeous book.
Sexy book.
I'm gonna show folks that are here some cool art. This is the there we go. We got some sweet arts for Talgon. You can see there's standing stones and the like. Now the book has a particular story, and we're going to change it a little bit because in our campaign different things have happened. So here it says the forest heart is dark and thick, and it makes it difficult to traverse. The only real place to camp is Harug, a holy site to the Horned One, ringed with carved stones. For no visible reason, the forest doesn't encroach within. The site itself is made of smooth stone platforms with holy patterns carved into them, small alcoves carved into trees, and ornate pathways that lead between them. The sole attendant of this site is a dour-robed man named Rowan, who has dedicated his life to the Horned One. Rowan's Panyar traits are more excessive than most and include goat horns and odd bark-like skin. Here, the broken are at a disadvantage. The forest beasts resent their presence and are likely to turn their rage on them. Consequently, undead in the forest are few and far more likely to mount ambushes than assault a fortified position. The Chosen is too valuable a prize to forget entirely, and defeating the Legion would earn the Cinder King's favor. But it's no easy task to follow the Legion into here. Talgon is one of the most pristine places left in Aldermark, but that does not make it safe. The forest does not care for intruders, and the Legion are only marginally better than their undead counterparts in the eyes of the things that call the forest home. So for those of you that don't know, Talgon Forest was grown actually from a sapling brought from the heart tree of Panya itself.
Nice.
And it has the same giant beasts and slight weirdness that happens in the forest of Panya as well. There are Aldermani Panyar that live and grow here. So let me tell you a little bit about what changes, right? So like you folks have to go through the forest with Zora sort of like forging the path with you. And, you know, occasionally she has to like flare her sword to scare off like 20 foot at the shoulder tall wolves, that kind of thing. Yeah, massive deer. You know, like if you ever seen a moose, those things are terrifying, but imagine a giant moose. Anyway, so yeah, by the time you make it to the forest heart, a couple of things happen. One, this forest heart is no longer abandoned and empty. There's actually a whole bunch of people here. And if you remember, it's the refugees that came ahead of you that were led by a famous pioneer scout who who is the son of Rowan. And as you folks rejoin Zayanova and I was about to say Natalia. I don't mean Natalia. I mean Radyevich, the Kingfisher Knight, and the remainder of a squad that was sent on this mission. You also notice you're expecting to see this scout who has a name. Hang on one second. I looked it up.
Storm?
Indigo Raging Storm, yeah. You expect Indigo Raging Storm to feel at home, but there's obviously some tension between him and his father. They don't seem to be on particularly good terms. He's usually like, for lack of a better term, he's sulking. So like, yeah, you know, he seems a little off. He doesn't seem like super comfortable here. He doesn't seem super happy. But there's a lot of people, and the forest actually has plenty of goods. So like, there's fruits. There's actually surprisingly little meat, but you get the sense that that's because people don't want to murder random forest creatures because they're terrified that the woods will do something bad to them. Go ahead.
There's a difference between don't want to and can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Terrified too.
Well, not every creature that you've seen has been of the massively oversized variety, right? These things are called great beasts, and they're not actually that common. When I say not that common, I mean, in our world, you would never see one, but like they do need to eat, which means that if there's like 1,000 of them, the forest would be depopulated in short order. So there are some, but they're probably number in the dozens versus like the hundreds, right? Like you will see one definitely coming in, but you're not going to see one every like 10 feet. There are also normal sized deer that those giant wolves eat, and things like that. So big cats. Yeah. So that's where you folks are situated and kind of settled in. And I'm gonna throw the missions up here. So looking at the missions, there are 2 in particular. The first mission is called Wounded Wolf, and it is a wild and glory religious mission. So the mission is as follows. Inigo Raging Storm actually talks to you folks and mentions that he's not particularly in love with staying here, and he's been cooperating with the Legion. And Xia Nova's managed to convince him that the fight against the Cinder King is for the best. So he's been kind of reluctant to commit to joining the Legion. He's like, well, the people here need me, who's going to hunt for them, that kind of stuff. But he comes to you in kind of a bit of a panic, and he mentions that his dad, and by the way, if you see Rowan looks like, I don't know, looks like he was made by like Weta Workshop or like, Jim Henson, right? Like he's got these like horns, and he's like got a kind of a gnarled staff with like little ropes and crystal thingies on it. And he's all like, and he's just, he looks like something out of the Dark Crystal, right? So his dad has had a vision from the Horned One, and his dad is like, yes, there is a giant animal that is currently trapped by one of these one of the undead troops, and he's planning to go and see what he can do. And this pioneer comes to you folks and speaks to whoever as high up in command as he can reach, probably Xia Nova plus someone else, and says, look, my dad is going to go out there and he's going to get himself killed. And like, if you folks are willing to go out and help with this mission, I will join the Legion. You folks have seen me in action. I'm a scout extraordinaire. Let's fight the good fight together, but I need this as a favor, right? So like, it's a mission where the reward is Indigo Raging Storm will join the Legion, and he's kind of a beefcake scout if you look at his stat line. He gets +2 actions, +1 ability. And then the mission penalties are +1 pressure, -1 morale. So knowing that the undead have another horrible snake-like monstrosity out there is not going to be good for morale. The second mission is called Red Acanthus, which I named it that specifically so that Sean would laugh. Yes, excellent. Go me. It's a reference to playtest from this weekend. I'm sorry. It is another religious mission. And this is where we find out why Rowan and his son don't get along. By the way, if anybody asks Rowan, they're like, what is your full pioneer name? Rowan's like, the only deed you need to know about is the one that I am named for. You will call me what I ask. Thump. So Rowan's son and him apparently have this problem because Rowan's his actual like biological kid. And, he's like, gosh, Dad, like Rowan seems to care more for his apprentice, who's a priestess. Uh-oh. Did we lose someone?
Oh, no. We lost
John!
We lost a John.
Let him come back to us!
Ooh.
All right. Well,
Pick him on the internet. I'll finish telling the story.
Video looks wonky, but we will survive.
So the second mission actually gets you, I rolled exceptional asset, and I was like, exceptional. So I like rolled, and I was like, oh, pretty exceptional. That's 6. And then I rolled some extra dice. So Rowan's apprentice is actually Silver Singing Twilight. It's she is a priestess of the Horned One, and she knows secret. She actually spent time outside of this forest, and she actually got a degree from a university in Ore, and she actually knows alchemy. And she returned here, and she's been studying the alchemical properties of herbs that only grow in the heart of the forest. So she's willing to come along with the Legion and act as an alchemist that also has some mercy-like properties with her poultices. But she requires a specific catalyst. She needs a reaping of a specific plant called the Red Acanthus, which grows in a cave nearby. And she mentions that it's guarded by a great beast. So she needs some legionnaires what are willing to tango with some terrifyingly large animal to come with her on basically a flower picking expedition, like you do. So So that's it. That's our. Oop, hang on. I just got pinged. It's probably by John. One
Yeah.
second.
John just said his internet went down. He's trying to sort it out.
Okay. So actually, why don't we take a brief break?
Yeah.
And when we come back, hopefully we'll have a John, and we'll go from there. Does that sound?
Sounds like a good plan to me. All right, everybody. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
All right. Sounds good.